Live? Alright, I believe we are live. So, good afternoon, good evening, hello, welcome to, what was the name of the show again? The Edge of Disclosure, aka ThEoD. This show is about looking up into the skies, thinking about the surroundings, understanding there is always something new to know. We talk about ufology, paranormal happenings, conspiracies, science, and technology updates weekly every Saturday at, currently the time is what, 6 p.m. Pacific time, which is 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 p.m. where you're at, right?
Yep, 9 p.m. Eastern.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah. Anyway, for links to sources, music, and anything else potentially interesting, please check the underbar of the description below. All links gathered throughout the show will appear post live stream. I did not really do preparing much for tonight. It's been a busy day. Anyway, I am of course Xander, and who am I joined by?
Just the good old Alice of Who.
Yeah, who's Alice? Today is, as I said, Saturday. It is December 2nd, 2023. So to get a little loosey-goosey, because like last week's episode was just awesome. And
it was.
It was.
Epic.
Where the hell is my thing? There you are. Okay. I was looking all over for this thing.
I'm right here. Hiya.
Yeah, that's our thumbnail right there. But yeah, no, looking up in our Edge of Disclosure channel here, the first topic of discussion we have is the Black Knight satellite, which a lot of people know about that. We not to be confused with the Black Knight film, but no, this is a thing in space that's been floating around for a long time. And but Alice, what do you know about this and whatnot?
So from what I understand, this thing has been up, and this has been reported by scholars for hundreds of years at least, and it's been spotted from the ISS station, from people in space, going up and doing whatnot, fixing the Hubble. They've seen it and reported it, but apparently it's been in orbit for at least a few thousand years, is what the rumor is. Rumor has it. So.
Yeah, well, as you said, the rumor right here, it says, according to some UFO conspiracists, the Black Knight is an artificial satellite of an extraterrestrial origin that has orbited Earth for approximately 13,000 years. According to the wiki, here, and, take that with a grain of salt. But then you go on to here, in 1954, UFO researcher Donald Kehoe told newspapers that the USAF had reported 2 satellites orbiting Earth had been detected. At the time, no country had the technology to launch a satellite. So, the 13,000-year thing, I can understand how most people can, not believe that, and I don't fully believe or disbelieve anything, but this is a stretch to me. But the 1954 here, we're getting into something a little bit more concrete.
Yeah, I don't confirm or deny the presence of the Dark Knight. I've never personally seen it, but maybe if I got a telescope, maybe one night I'm one day I'm just like, oh, what's that in the sky? It's definitely an interesting topic because everybody I hear a lot of people talk about it, but I don't know everything about it. But I do know that apparently it is an artificial satellite that's been orbiting, and some people would say it's like a probe that's just overseeing and shit our planet.
Might be a probe, might be an observation, something or another. It might be a controlling apparatus. I don't know. There's also the whole thing about, remember when Nikola Tesla was saying that he was receiving transmissions from aliens and whatnot, and that's how he was getting all these ideas. And Tesla, he's invented some pretty crazy stuff, the earthquake machine story. That's spooky. But I think it might have been from the Black Knight. Might have been the transponder. It received the message from whoever was sending it, and then put it into Tesla's head.
That very well could be. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, that could be it. But
what was I saying? Here's a picture of Tesla right here.
Tesla. Dude, well, he also created free electricity for everybody, but nobody wanted that.
Well, no, he was trying to, and then Westinghouse and Edison like shut him
Yeah,
down and
yeah,
destroyed him, so he could have no chance
yeah,
because it threatened, it threatened a way of them making money, and they're greedy SOBs.
yeah.
So,
They essentially ostracized Tesla from the community. Well, that and Edison was always just heard about him.
well, no, they dragged him through the mud. They tried to belittle Thomas Alva Edison was the inventor of direct current, and
Yeah.
Tesla was the inventor of alternating current. And like one
Yeah.
of the absolute most satanic things I've ever heard anybody ever doing ever in the history of ever was when Thomas Alva Edison, using his own direct current, saying it was Tesla's alternating current, used it to electrocute to death Topsy the elephant on television. He killed and he murdered an animal to lie about something.
Yeah,
Like, wow.
he electrocuted animals. Yeah, like what the hell? I
Yeah.
remember that, like, in that one. Remember the tree with John C. Riley and Crispin Glover. Oh, that was horrible. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, this is what happened. Oh, it died.
What happened? What's going
Oh,
on?
oh, it's just me making reference of it. Oh
Oh.
no! Oh, it dies. Like when he was like, "Oh, this is what happens when you use alternating current." Oh, it dies.
Ah. Well, yeah, it needs to
It's
have
cool,
like
man.
it's a bouncing current, like you have a current at the beginning, a current at the end, and it's like rather than like one source that just beams out, it like like a marathon, no, not a marathon, like a relay. You pass the baton, like oh here's the charge, here's the charge, here's the charge, and they're just constantly bouncing back. That's what alternating current is, I believe, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Well, like that picture you just showed of Tesla, like sitting there with all the electricals going, like the electricity going everywhere. He's like, "Yep," just sitting there, like, "Yep, I'm all right."
Actually, what that is that is two photographs molded into one. If he was really there while that was on, it would have cooked him immediately. But they took a
That's what I.
photo of him like with it off, and then they took a photo of it with it on, with him away in the chair and everything, and then they just somehow like photoshopped it, like just put one over the other and combined the two or something.
Well, that's kind of cool though. Like,
Yeah,
it's up at its finest.
yeah. But yeah, no, like the Black Knight satellite is a really, really eyebrow-raising topic here.
I wish we had a certain somebody in right now who would actually be able to talk more about that satellite. Like it's a very interesting thing, and I know we know a couple people that have some knowledge of it.
Sir Rob is not doing too hot, and I'm honestly really starting to get worried about the man. Like, I sent him a message earlier today. Like, I still need to talk with you about something. Hopefully, we can still do something. But
Yeah.
I'm really getting worried about him. But anyway,
I'll keep him on.
yeah, yeah. Let's move on up here. So from the Black Knight, we're gonna have like a little bit of a shorter show tonight because like it's been a busy couple of weeks, and Alice is here has been going crazy in her own way, and I've been going crazy in mine. Christmas is coming up, trying to move things. Like no, you've seen the state of that room with all the boxes where all the books are, Alice. I gotta maneuver everything around in different ways because that's where we're putting the tree. We gotta take all that furniture upstairs tomorrow, and I'm not doing the history show tomorrow actually because like I need more time to do stuff. We're still doing the peanut though, that's for sure. So
yeah, and that's at 7 p.m. Eastern time but we'll get into that at the end of the show. We'll give a to the other shows we have.
Now you reminded me about this. Going to the moon in 2024 next year.
Yeah, February of 2024. Apparently, it's going to be an unmanned flight, but it's the first time that the U.S. is sending a rocket to the moon. I guess in 50 years, I think. And then there's going to be what was the other thing? I think eventually there is a plan for a manned one. In a couple years here too, and uh, Artemis, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently though, with this one that they're sending up in February, it's supposed to be a science experiment. Now, what I don't know is if they're sending it up there to wait for when they do a manned mission, so that the science experiment's there for them to conduct for a manned person to do, or if it's gonna like deploy something and it's gonna conduct its own like experiment via like computer and like robot and whatnot, like a rover. So like that part, I didn't read that far into it. I figured that we'd read further into it together, and we can both be like, ooh, ah,
Well, they have the
you
full
know.
Artemis plan here, which, okay, here we go. Um, setting humanity on a sustainable course to the moon, landing humans on the moon in 2024. So they're not just going to the moon in 2024. They're going faster than what you said. They're extending lunar missions and preparing for Mars. Oh wow, here we go.
Oh, would be
So
a better jumping point to like go to Mars from the moon. I mean, that's like a what? The moon's like a couple 250,000 miles away or something like that.
well, it's not just that. It's that, like, if you're going from Earth to the moon, you need X amount of fuel. If you're going from Earth to Mars, you need even more amounts of fuel, and the more fuel you have, the more weight you have, which means you need more fuel to exit the atmosphere, and it's a compounding problem. So
Yeah,
if you can somehow just stage get it to the moon, it's not just because it's X amount closer, it's that it's already in the zero G environment. If you just
well,
you blow most of your fuel getting to the moon, and then you just kind of just glide your way to Mars.
yeah, well, what I would say is what they're probably gonna do is because like the moon has like not nearly as much gravity as the Earth, it would probably be easier to shoot off from the moon to
Yeah,
Mars, or at least like they shoot to the moon from Earth. They go to the moon to fuel, and then they go from the moon to Mars.
now see, that makes me wonder. Like, have you heard about the space launch centrifuge? I think I don't know what it's called.
No. Maybe.
Launching a rocket, uh, spinning. Because I'm thinking rather than utilizing, oh yeah, this is a cool. Oh, that's a spin launch suborbital accelerator first launch. Oh, that's when they're testing it and everything. But it basically spin launch flight test. I'm thinking like on the moon, you don't really need to use fuel to do another launch from there. You can launch a rocket that has fuel, in case needs to realign itself or whatever, in the flight or something. But you can launch it with what was this? The spin launch flight. Spin launch. So let's see if they have if there's an image. Yeah, here it is. Okay. What it basically is right here. You see this arm.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like like when they train astronauts, they spin them around the thing. Although it's only flipped on its side. What it does is it holds the spacecraft and it spins it around until it gets to a certain speed and it lets it go and it shoots out this tube right there. Vroom! No no launch needed. You just shoot it out, and then it just goes out there because it's in it's in space, lower gravity, zero atmosphere to fight against. You just whoop, there it goes.
Yeah, they could work until like it accidentally releases just a second too late and just go whoop. But
Yeah, well, I mean, like
it's good.
Well, hold on a second. Let's see if they actually have the test here.
1. Release.
Oh, see? Look. And that's all the power they really need. Like, they don't need to launch it at, like, the speed of sound or anything. Just give it enough of a push and then now you just rely on gravity and time.
Minus 10 seconds for apogee.
Disable floodlights.
That's pretty cool, huh?
That is really wicked, man.
Let me go
You're gonna
back
have to
here.
show me more of this. You're gonna have to show me like I'll watch this video after the show actually.
Yeah.
So now that I know it's a spin launch, so that's cool.
Yeah. Let me add this to the underbar links. Okay. Spin launch. Oh. But yeah, no, like all we need to do is get vessels to the moon. If we can figure out how to make synthetic fuel, or like maybe figure out how to space fare without the use of fuel and only need fuel to break the atmosphere to get into space, then we can use the moon as a launch off point for everything else. And then we just use the
Yeah.
spin launch to give it enough of a oomph to get it sending out there, and then it can just use solar power
Yeah,
or
well,
whatever technology we have. Crystalline fuels. My one of my cousins actually, he's working on his PhD right now, and he's looking into using crystalline energy. You're you're
like I
robot-y.
would assume is once we get to Mars. Ah, of course I'm getting low body. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, well I was gonna say eventually, like once we get to Mars, I'll just be another stepping stone to launch out from too. And then we'll probably go to like Europa or something. That's one of Jupiter's moons, right?
Yeah, like Europa, Ganymede, Io. Um,
Mhm.
um, energy.
So we'll probably we'll probably just one stepping stone from one place further out. But I mean, we're not going to see Europa in our lifetime. Well, maybe you never know. But there is a good possibility that we'll see Mars in our lifetime, like man landing on Mars.
Yeah, well, what like
Maybe.
I'm trying to figure out like exactly. I need to talk to my cousin again. Like, hopefully he's allowed to talk to me. But no, like, this is gonna sound funny, but you remember Toy Story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember when Buzz and Woody first met? He's like, "Does this civilization still use fossil fuels, or has it unlocked crystalline technology abilities, or whatever?" Like, like science fiction, rhetoric. Like, as I said, my cousin is, his PhD is working on and I'm not talking about meditation or anything. Like, I'm talking about actual practical use, in an engine, which we were talking about cold fusion, which is something else earlier today. Which might be a topic we get to today. We'll see. But like, as an actual practical energy source, tapping into crystalline energy somehow, like the down to the way it's built on an atomic level. I don't know. Like, the man is a brilliant man, and like I'd love to talk with him more.
If you can, like, definitely try to. I mean, but like, there probably is a big possibility that, depending on what he's doing, he might not be able to talk about it either, though.
Well, no. This is his thesis into getting his PhD. He's not.
Oh,
this isn't
thesis.
some secret government task he's been given. Like.
Okay, yeah, I heard you say thesis earlier. That's right. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I had a brain fart. A moment.
I wouldn't know if he was working with government projects. Alice, are you out of even? And then I wouldn't talk about it on YouTube. Are you a nut job, milady? I swear.
Did you really actually have to ask that question? You should already know the answer.
Yeah, you have a point there. So.
I mean, I hang out with you, for God's sake.
But what were we talking about? Yeah, Artemis. So yeah, like
Artemis.
we are set to here. Let me add this Artemis here. I forgot all about this. Let's see here. Artemis. All right. So yeah, and
yeah, they're planning to go to the moon. So we'll have another manned flight to the moon finally.
Oh yeah, and I read somewhere, and this doesn't surprise me because this has been bouncing around in the scientific-esque community for a while, utilizing 3D printers to make structures in the moon base and all that stuff. Like, because we don't need to go up and send all that. We don't need to send up heavy concrete and all that whatnot. We can just utilize what's there. Like, if you've ever played the game Surviving Mars, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like,
we can we could totally utilize a 3D printer up there and build because I've seen some crazy prefab stuff that 3D printers can build that actually people have made houses out of 3D printing. Well, not personally seen it, but I've seen it on TV.
Yeah, no,
I
like,
mean, not well on YouTube. I mean,
yeah, well, like here's an example. They can 3D print this, and because it's space, you got to be underground. So it's not going to be like you're living in a dome or anything like that. For the most part, you're going to be underground because of all the radiation and whatnot in space.
yep.
So, but yeah, this is what moon base is going to look like. Pretty cool.
But then this might be a problem though, because rumor has it the moon's hollow.
Say again?
Rumor has it the moon is hollow.
Oh yeah. Well, there's all that too. I mean, that's a whole rabbit hole of discussion.
Yeah,
I believe we have gone down before. So.
Yeah, that's a whole different kit and caboodle conversation. Yeah. Sorry, couldn't help myself. I have a silly laugh every once in a while.
All right.
But the moon, that's cool that we're going back there. I think that's really awesome. Plus, I'm wondering, do you think that maybe the aliens finally said, it's alright, you guys can come back here, but only if you don't go on the dark side, okay?
Well, then we've already broken it because didn't China recently land something on the dark side of the moon?
Yeah, they did, actually.
Yeah.
So China's screwing up everything for Earth.
Well, China is just as much of a pawn as everybody else on the world stage.
Yeah, they're just
people who are doing the shots. China is on the same level as everybody else. No bigger, no smaller. They're just playing a role.
They're another dart on the dartboard.
Yeah. Oh, they're just playing their role on the stage. As is everybody
they're
else.
They're part of the machine.
You know what? Now I want to listen to the machine. Like I'm not talking about Bert Kreischer. I'm talking about the song "The Machine." That's a good song. Yeah. Anyway, let's touch a little bit on this noetic sciences. I don't want to get too deep because I kind of want to I want to peel off here a little bit. My head's starting to hurt. I want to just chill for the rest of the evening in a little bit here. But what is this? Tell me.
Okay, so how I first got made aware of noetic science actually was through I hate to admit this, a Dan Brown book. I think it's called The Lost Symbol, I think, or something like that. I can't remember if that was the name of the book, but either way, it talks about this woman who's working with how people's your feelings and emotions can actually affect the things around you. And also how there are only certain things that in science that will actually do something and if it's observed. But if it's not observed, then it's not doing it. It's a weird thing where how your energy and your body and energy gives off something that can affect the environment around you. It's also there's also scientific parts about it. Yeah, The Lost Symbol, that's the book. It's a good book. But it comes to doing an unlock thing, but the real actual noetic science is it's a bunch of weird stuff. It's a theory, but I think it's also been kind of slightly proven. It's just not on the scale of what the book portrays because it's Dan Brown and you know how he is. But what does it say for here, the exact definition that they like to explain for noetic science?
Let me see here. Well, I have the Institute of Noetic Sciences, but what is noetic science? Is there such a, what is the, what are examples? What religion? Institute of Noetic Sciences, Dean Radin on noetic science. I'm trying to, here's noetics. Well, that's the same link. What are noetic sciences?
Also, you did bring up the Fibonacci and stuff like that too earlier.
Well, that's because up here, at least it showed. Actually, hold on, let me bigger this. No, what? Noetic science. Hold on a second. Noetic science. There we go. That's why I did it. Because the Institute of how beliefs, thoughts, and intentions affect the physical world. Noetics. Okay,
Yep.
that's why that link is purple. But this picture is next to it, and that is the Fibonacci sequence, if I am correct. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I went off
But
on the whole Fibonacci thing earlier today.
But yeah, they're saying that like it's not like you're having you can like telepathically communicate to one another, but it's how like your physical embodiment actually can physically affect the environment around you. Like how it's been like proven that if you talk to your plants, they grow better. Like they say if you talk plants like in a good tone, they had like a study where they had some people growing like tomato plants, and some of them were talking nice to it as they were watering it and tending into it, and then they had other people who just talked shit to to the plant, and it withered and died. But they were doing the same treatment that the other person was, except they weren't giving it positive enforcement. It's a crazy thing. Like there's so much craziness with behind it, but like I believe that I think a lot of it has to do because then I can go into like the pituitary gland thing, the third eye, like how noetic science and that maybe like it is there's something that we haven't quite unlocked in our brain, and if we do, like we will be able to understand like noetic science and see how we actually do affect the environment around us with our intentions and our thoughts. Like, I'm not saying that is gonna change the world, but I mean, it'd be interesting if we become more enlightened with what we are around a thing.
Do
Oh
you?
yes, the brain with the Fibonacci.
Yeah, but isn't that strange? It's right there at the pituitary. What you're talking about, the third eye.
Yep, told you,
Like
man.
it's not dead center, but it's around there. People put it over. I remember seeing this image. I'm like, oh, that's relevant to what you're saying because you're 100% right. As far as like I am aware of, because like we exist on on a sound plane. Like everything we experience, both sight. Well, obviously sound, is vibrations. Sight is light vibrations and all that stuff. What we touch is vibrating because on a molecular level, on an atomic level, like 99.9999% of everything you experience in the world doesn't really exist because it's separated so far on an atomic level that it's mostly
Yep.
air, you know? And so everything we interact with is all vibrations, sound, like electromagnetism and all that whatnot.
Yeah.
So, of
Well,
course,
I
like how we feel and how we carry ourselves will affect the world around us because we are projecting a frequency and that will affect that around us.
that's like where people would talk about like oh you can see an aura around people and stuff. Like I actually kind of believe that's true. But like I also said when I was a kid, even though I'm touching my fingers, I'm really not touching my fingers right now because between that there is a spot where I am not really touching. This is a vibration between my fingers that I'm feeling right now when I'm rubbing my fingers.
So, like, okay, and I really wish this had been a scene in the movie. So, Your Honor, as my evidence, he did not hit her. He didn't. Oh, hi,
I
Mark.
didn't. I didn't hit her. Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah, no. See, like with this revelation, he in fact did not hit her. So yeah,
It was the vibrations between the hand and the face
yeah,
that actually hit her. Yeah, in theory,
yeah.
allegedly.
Hey, what movie is that from? For anyone who doesn't get the reference.
Oh, that's the Room with the Tommy Wiseau's The Room.
Ah,
Yeah, that's definitely it's a movie to watch. But or not. I mean, it's ranked one of the worst, but it's a cult classic now.
uh,
It's so bad. It's so
oh hi,
bad you have
Mark.
to watch. Yeah. Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah, it's so bad you have to watch it. Actually, it.
I
But
I really want to see it. I love it when he comes out of this door here. There's no stairway. There's no reason for this. It's just only built for him to come out of. Like that's literally the only reason why that structure exists. Like
Yep, the background's a poorly done green screen or blue screen.
anyway, let's get back onto track here. So like noetic sciences and whatnot, like. And the Golden Loon here, you know, my dad, and he said this for quite some time, and I really wish he'd get back into meditating, to be honest, but he said that it is said that if just 10% of the people of the earth just meditated, just relaxed, cleared their mind, you know, just chilled out for an hour a day, the entire energy of the earth will shift for the better. You know,
Yeah,
like,
I heard him say that earlier when I came back from helping a customer listening to you guys. I heard him say that, and I thought that was a really interesting thing because I actually believe that to be true.
yeah, it goes along with your noetic sciences, and it goes along with
Yeah.
physics. Physics has proven noetic sciences is a fact. So, as far as I'm aware of, as far as my knowledge is going, you know, not as far as I'm concerned or as far as I agree with, no. The facts are there. You know, as what's his face, Crowder would say, change my mind. You know? Like,
Yep.
debate me. Like,
Yeah, louder.
Yeah.
Oh, good old Crowder.
You know? It's not that I believe I'm right, it's just, you know, this is like, you know, everything I have, you know, all my tools just says this is the most likely case probability. That noetic science, you know, it is factual because we are living on a vibrational plane of existence. There can be other realities that we don't even interact with, like which would explain ghosts and other such phenomena to some degree. You know, angels, demons, you know, what have you, religion, like because something vibrating in another frequency vibrated at ours for like about a minute and then went back to their reality, you know? Like, we could be walking through each other without even realizing it.
Yeah, well, actually, Xander, as you were talking about ghosts and stuff, there's also such a thing called residual haunting, where it's actually the energy of a certain moment in memory happens, and it just gets replayed throughout time.
Yeah, I've heard about that too.
Yeah, so yeah, it's called a residual haunting, where it's actually not somebody who actually that ghost doesn't know you're there, and stuff. It just kind of, it's like a piece of history that's being replayed.
Yeah, and see, like going along that, you know, that path, you're talking about the energies and whatnot. That also might explain like how ghosts and whatnot can walk through walls, because at the time of the energy's creation, it was a doorway or there wasn't a wall there. You know, like.
It could have been a whole different building.
Yeah.
That was just, if it was there beforehand. Yeah. Well, then again, they're not a solid mass, so they can actually pass through things. And
There's
a lot
that
of times,
too,
you know.
well. But if it is an
And
energy, then the energy wouldn't pass through things, because that means that the person making the energy would have been able to pass through the thing there if it was there.
Yeah, well, a lot of apparitions aren't even full apparitions where it looks like they're solid. A lot of them are like, it's like a cloud or a dark shadow, or like, you know, sometimes then that might be a shadow person. So in that case, you gotta be careful. Like, shadow people creep me out. But I'm just happy I've never encountered a black-eyed child. So.
Yeah.
Black-eyed children would creep me out.
Well, it's getting dark, and I know my house is haunted, and I don't want to start thinking. I don't want to inadvertently like summon something. So.
Yeah. This is where we we send good, happy, positive energy and omen to your home.
Yeah.
If anybody's gonna be haunting your house, you know it's gonna be a good person. You know, she's just checking in on you.
Well, I know Mom died in this house, so.
Yeah, so if anything, it's going to be your mom checking in on you, but like, yeah, Xander,
we were having some ghost-like activity happening well before that happened, and I mean, we're out, you know, in California. There could have, like, you know, a cowboy could have died over here, and you know, there could have been, you know, Native Americans killing another tribe over here. Like, for all we know, there's like a dead native or something under our house that, you know, is just never got.
Have you ever looked at the history of that plot of land that you live on? Like, what the history of it was before there was development?
I know some of it. I did find the old cemetery, like from way back in the day. So,
Oh, damn.
yeah,
Well, there you go.
yeah.
See, I have no idea of like what was like. I do know that like where I live once was a chicken coop,
Yeah.
but I don't know what it was before. But I know it's been part of a farmland for a long time. But
Well,
as to
Alice, if
farmers,
your apartment had 4 doors, it'd be a chicken sedan.
it's a hatchback too, you know.
I gotta get a new soundboard. Like,
Dude,
I still have 2 days
go.
on mine. So, like, hold on a
Dude,
second.
did you like the play on words? Yeah, yeah, you like that play on words with hatchback, you know, like a hatch and eggs chicken coop. Ayo.
Ew. I guess the
Hatchback.
yoke's on
And it's a
you.
tiny. Yeah, yeah, dude, you've been on fire with puns today, man.
Yeah, I'm
I
really
don't
coming
know
out of
what
my shell, aren't I?
You really are coming on your shell, you know. It's nothing to roost about, though.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, gosh darn it.
One
I'm
of us is
trying not
getting
to.
cocky.
Oh yeah, I'm cluckadoodle-doodling right now.
Anyway, let's wrap this show up here. So that shall conclude us for
Yeah.
this week. I know we're a little short, but yeah, we're actually going to be changing the time. I believe. Stick tight, or stick around and sit tight. We will be posting updates throughout our various other shows that we do.
Yeah. Well, we do have a Today in History show on the Omni Coalition, and you do still do. Is it Monday through Wednesday? I know Monday. I know you do 2 days off on there. And I just can't
Actually,
remember
I'm
which one.
changing that around. What I'm doing is I'm being just loosey-goosey because we have so many other projects now that I don't have to be crazy about history. I mean, if somebody really wanted to know what happened, they can just, look at the sources that we have and figure it out themselves. Like, the show is just something really for me to do when I have the time now, because now we have a lot of these other projects like the Omni Coalition, Notable Events, Weather and Sports, Talkness, the Omni Coalition News Show. That's every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. We have this show, The Edge of Disclosure. As I said, we're still working on a more concrete time. It is a relatively new show. We also have other shows in the background that are not live, like the Omni Kitchen and insert name of show here, Inosh, which the Omni Kitchen is pretty self-explanatory, and it's going to be a cooking show. And which I still got to send you that care package, Alice, but we'll talk about that after.
Yes. And then I'll be 2 Crock-Pot McGee, and oh my god, my kitchen thing. It's really gonna be funny. More than likely, it'll be in the middle of the winter, and I'm gonna be cooking outside. Hey guys,
In the snow.
well, in the snow. Well, it's Pennsylvania, it barely snows.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So like. We do have the peanut. We will not be doing the history show tomorrow, but the history show went like almost every day at 11 in the morning Pacific time. But tomorrow's the peanuts, and we are doing that at 4 p.m. Pacific, which is 7 your time.
7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about all that and the other thing.
Yeah.
We'll probably touch base on some of the stuff we talked in this show too, maybe.
We have a couple things in that channel actually.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, like Henry Kissinger and stuff like that.
So. Someone just got ejected from Congress too. I forgot to write that in.
Oh, put that in the Rumble one, unless it's highly political.
With the peanut, we have a PG show for the YouTube part, but if you want to continue watching us, you can go over to the Rumble to hear the swassy stuff for the show on Sunday.
For the non-YouTube friendly stuff, and we will be doing that with this show as well too. Like when we have enough topics, for a Rumble ThEoD section. So, which we have one thing there so far. So,
dear.
But anyway, yeah. So like, for all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
I am the Alice of Who. Just don't call it late for dinner.
Yeah. And of course, you're you until you catch us next Saturday, or if you're interested in, as I said, history, and the other projects and all that stuff. I've already talked about all that stuff. So until you see us again, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe.
Toodle.
Doodle.
You usually say poodle.